I'll do that at 7 o'clock. Typically, we'll typically do the Pledge of Allegiance in the 7 o'clock meeting. Okay, so you'll do attendance.
Sure. All right. Mark Lodi?
Here.
Gary Guglielmetti? Here. Alan Vella? Christian Lynch?
Here.
Henry Williams?
Okay, I make a motion, we open the public hearing for the Wellington Blueberry project. Turn on your mic if you want to say anything.
I second
All in
Okay, we
favor?
have a second? All in favor?
that.
Okay. So, has there been any commentary, positive or negative? Is there, first of all, is anybody here to testify? This is for the Wellington Blueberry? No? Okay, so, do we have any submissions you want to read?
We did get one submission, but should I read the legal notice first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Get this straight sooner or later.
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 267-A of the state law and as prescribed in the District Schedule of Area and Bulk Regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. Regarding an application for both a use and an area variance submitted by Wellington Blueberry LLC for a parcel located at 310 Main Street in Pine Hill, further identified as SBL number 4.46-1-32.110, said parcel being located in a Hamlet commercial zoning district. The applicant is seeking a use variance and relief of the density regulations listed in the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Town of Shandaken zoning code, which would require a minimum of 2.4 acres in order for the structure to be converted to 10 affordable housing units and a cafe/market. The parcel consists of approximately 0.995 acres. The applicant is seeking an area variance and relief of zoning code 116-40A.4, which only allows 4 units and a multi-family structure. The public hearing is scheduled for September 18, 2024 at 6:15 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Anyone who wishes to make comment regarding the application may do so during the public hearing. If you are unable to attend, you can send any comments you would like read during the meeting to shandakenbldg@gmail.com or P.O. Box 134, Shandaken, New York 12480. All such comments must be received no later than September 18th, 2024 at 3 p.m. And we received one email regarding the application. To the Shandaken Zoning Board, good evening, everyone. If we look around, the Shandaken Town Code is not adhered to in many instances, so why have regulations? It was never more evident than when Richard Stokes, the former owner of the Wellington, was the town code enforcement officer and whose own yard was a garbage heap. Applying for variances shouldn't be an issue as they are easily circumvented. However, it allows the board to cherry pick projects and disallow this. Regarding the Wellington, I feel 10 apartments will add substantial noise, both human and motor, of which there is considerable on Main Street. Street litter, cleaning the lawn and street is ongoing, and traffic. Might some of these apartments be offices to alleviate some of these issues? Around other public housing, there is substantial night lighting, which cuts down night sky vision, something we are very lucky to have in this area, something I would not like to see diminished. These are my thoughts on the zoning board and the Wellington proposal. Thank you, Michael Boyer.
Michael Boyer is, I think, a resident on Main Street in Pine Hill.
Yes.
Okay. Any further comment, positive or negative? You want to say something? Put the microphone.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jan Jaffe, and I'm the president of the Wellington Blueberry LLC. We've been receiving
I can't hear
letters.
you so well.
Sorry?
Is that mic on?
Yep.
I can't
I
hear
think,
it.
well, I don't know if it is or not. Yep.
Oh, thank you. Hey, there you go.
I'm Jan Jaffe.
That's working now.
I'm president of the Wellington Blueberry LLC. We've been receiving letters of support from our neighbors. We have about 10 so far from the surrounding area around the Wellington. We developed a map, and we will submit it to the ZBA, so with the letters, so you'll be able to see visually where the letters of support are coming from, as well as the letters themselves. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. Have you or your LLC submitted any applications to the town for either a site plan review or a special use permit?
We've just secured a land use lawyer yesterday, and we are going to submit, we're going to workshop the
Planning board.
the plan with the planning board on next Wednesday, and then we'll submit our application. But we've got just about, we think we have just about everything that we need, but because we just brought our lawyer in, we need to sit down with him and go over it.
Understood.
Mark
Okay.
Mariella.
This is the attorney?
Yep.
Okay.
Mike.
Mike.
That's how
Okay.
how fast this has happened.
He specializes in land use law?
Yes,
Okay.
land use and environmental law.
Okay, so just to bring the board and the public up to speed, we, in the previous days, we investigated any ways that we could have voted on the variance minus a permit that has been submitted and minus the denial of that permit, which is what we do. We, our only legal power is to adjudicate on an appeal that's been made from a denial. The permit isn't in place and denial isn't in place. So we talked to the town attorney. Hank did a deep dive into the guidelines for zoning board applications in the New York State Department of State.
And I have a copy of that for you, if you'd like.
Oh, you may, yeah.
I think it makes it easier.
What the attorney reported and what we found was that there does not have to be a denial of a permit in order for us to rule, but there has to be the presence of the submission of either a site plan or a special permit, neither of which you guys have done yet. So in lieu of that, we are leaving this hearing open. We're not going to close the hearing. We're going to leave it legally open, so if there's any future input, positive, as you mentioned, or negative, in subsequent hearings, where we will have to eventually rule upon this issue, we will be able to legally hear that. So we're going to leave the hearing open. We're not going to close the hearing. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say that we were really excited about your project. We did author and put together a letter from the zoning board. It's favorable to the project that you guys endeavored to try and accomplish. We looked very carefully into all the state statutes. And I think at last meeting, I told you that there was only, or explained that there was only two ways to be in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. One was to be aggrieved by the Planning and Building Department. The other was to be sent here by the Planning Board to seek variances, whether they be use or area. And the third way is a direct appeal to the Zoning Board, which I think that category is perfect for you. And the only issue is that you just have to have an application submitted to the town. It doesn't have to be heard by the planning board. It doesn't have to be explained to the planning board. As long as it was submitted to the town and stamped in, we could have listened to all the pros and cons and then voted on that this evening. So without that, I think Mark's solution is to leave the meeting open for another 30 days, and that'll give you an opportunity to meet with the town zoning department and figure out exactly what you're going to submit.
Right, yeah, and I think at this point, because we've retained Mike, we have to bring him up to speed, but we intend to fast-track this.
And
Yeah.
I personally don't see a problem with it, because the Wellington was 153 rooms
It
back
was?
in the day, yeah, and it's 11 to 12,000 square feet
Yeah.
of property, so
Yeah.
I mean, I think the density isn't going to be such an issue with you based on the historic value of it and being on the historic registry for the state of New York. And it's one of only a couple in the Catskill Mountain Park that is still around, that can be restored. And I think it's going to be a plus for the town of Shandaken and also for the community of Pine Hill.
We
So,
agree. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll
Don't
see
say
you
good
next-
luck.
Next,
No,
next month.
I think you're on the road, the right road to get this whole
Yeah.
issue, off the ground and starting to build and do the
Thank
things you
very
really
much.
can see and
Thank you.
benefit by it, the town.
Okay, so we will if the hearing is open, what does that mean for us in terms of submitting things to you? We can submit them at any time?
Yeah, you could have
Yeah,
submitted
well-
those today.
It's open till 30 days, right?
Submitted what, the applications?
Yeah, they
Yes,
could've.
I
Yeah.
gave her that option. She decided not to do it
Okay.
in lieu of
I just
consulting
learned
with the
last
new
night, so I couldn't
attorney.
do it. Yeah.
So it's been somewhat rushed.
Hmm.
Okay.
We're trying to facilitate
Yeah, no,
this.
I appreciate that, I really
Yeah.
do.
Any questions? No?
But then for us going forward, submissions can just come in at any time. We don't have to be on the,
Yeah.
They can come in any time
Okay.
for pro or con, but then we will, consolidate them and voice them at the next meeting, and then we will take that into consideration as to how we vote for the permit.
so it will be a month from now.
Yeah, 30
but
days.
we do anticipate that the planning board will deny your permit because you're asking for 10 rooms, not 4, in which case you will have to apply for a variance from the zoning board, and we've,
But
Well,
we,
then
what we
they've already
understand from what
applied
you're
for the
saying is that we
variance.
can put in the we'll put in the application to the planning board.
And then you can.
That
do-
will be enough to then
That'll
come
give you
back.
the direct appeal to us.
according to the state guidelines,
Okay,
so we did a deep dive into this and
Okay.
trying to,
And that parking issue that we were so concerned about at last meeting, through our conversations with the planning board at their last meeting, we come up with 116-24C,
right.
which
Right.
gives the hamlet of Pine Hill and Phoenicia the ability to negotiate with the town board and the supervisor for permits to park on the street. So that should resolve some of those
Did you
parking
understand
issues.
Right. Yeah,
So I would advise you to try and facilitate that
yeah,
with the town board.
we have raised that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think that's
you're on your way.
very
Good luck.
helpful. Thank you very much.
She said, don't say good luck.
Oh.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
don't
an
say good luck.
actress?
You can say
Break a leg.
good fortune,
Buena suerte.
Okay.
good fortune, buena suerte is good,
Mm.
but we're not looking for luck here.
No,
Thank
well, you're
you.
putting in the hard work, so I think
Thanks a
you'll get
lot.
there.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
The other one's a fence.
Yeah, and that's the next public hearing. So I make a motion, we open the public hearing for the, Josh?
Did you go up and view the property? I don't know.
Yes, I did.
I
didn't
need a
walk it,
motion
go
and a
past
second to leave that public hearing open.
I make a motion to leave the public hearing open on the Wellington LLC
I'll second that. All in
for
favor?
30 days.
You got that? I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, to be continued. I make a motion, we open public hearing for the Josh application. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
You gotta let her read the legal notice.
legal notice, please. We'll get this done.
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 267-A of the state law and as prescribed in the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. Regarding an application for area variance submitted by Harry Josh for a parcel located at 1345 Wittenberg Road in Mount Tremper, further identified as SBL number 25.19-2-8.200, located in a residential 1.5 acre zoning district. The applicant is seeking an area variance and relief of the height restrictions for a fence along the front, side, and rear lot lines in order to construct a 8-foot tall fence. The public hearing is scheduled for September 18th, 2024 at 6:30 PM at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Anyone who wishes to make comment regarding the application may do so during the public hearing. If you are unable to attend, you can send any comments you would like to have during the meeting to shandakenbldg@gmail.com or PO Box 134, Shandaken, New York 12480. All such comments must be received no later than September 18th, 2024 at 3 p.m.
Okay, and we have at least one letter or two letters in response. Do you want to read those?
Reading on, so of course she wants to. Read the sheet.
It's only the beginning, the next Vanna White.
Okay. Dear Town of Shandaken, we would like to write this email in regards to the public hearing for Harry Josh to be held on September 18th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. We disagree with the 8-foot-long height of a fence along the front side and rear lot lines. We believe not only would it harm the wildlife, but sadly disrupt our beautiful country roads. Also, if we allow one home to build such a big fence, many others will follow and make our pretty town of Shandaken look like a subdivision rather than the countryside. We think a traditional farm-style ranch fence, 4 feet, should be enough and respectful to all neighbors and wildlife. Kindly, Julian,
Shabby as I think it's supposed to.
1357 Wittenberg Road.
Okay.
And then we have one more. To the Zoning Board of Appeals, I am Kenneth B. Graham, residing at 1369 Wittenberg Road, Mount Tremper. I have 2 properties that share a boundary line with Harry Josh's 8+ acres. I will be out of town on September 18th, so I'm writing my concerns below. I am 100% against this variance due to its overly wide scope and lack of any details as to the nature of the fence. The concept of fencing the entirety of his property lot lines does not at all fit with the rural nature of this area, and I cannot agree with any fence 8 feet high. When I met Harry, he explained he wanted to install an 8 feet high deer fence around 4 acres of his land. He explained he wanted to plant fruit trees and gardens. I said it is a fact that deer will not jump over a 7-foot high fence, so I didn't see the need for the fence to be 8 feet high. Most deer fencing comes in 7 feet or shorter heights. I asked if the bottom of the fence would be up off the ground so small animals would be able to move back and forth. He said no, but that the fencing was an open mesh, showing me with his hands an opening about 3.5 inches, 4 inches in diameter, so squirrels and chipmunks could pass through. Other animals? Harry has already made a large investment in cleaning up the property for the better. The landscaping is beginning to further improve the looks. I am okay with a see-through deer fence with black or dark green metal posts with the same color options for the fencing at 7 feet high around the important 4 acres he spoke of. However, even that needs a variance to be 7 feet high, which is out of character for this area. So the 7-foot high see-through deer fence should not be right up along the road, along the front lot lines, but installed away from the road, perhaps a 25-foot setback. Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Before anything else, sorry,
Any-
Is there anybody here to speak on it?
before anything else, just very quickly, this is something to consider. County Planning Board was not able to put together a quorum for their meeting last week, at the beginning of this month, excuse me. So comment from Planning Board on this, which it was forwarded, is not available yet.
Why do we
We
need,
have to wait another month.
why do we
Because
need the county? Because that's
on
a county
state
road.
It's not a county
County
road.
It's a county road,
County
Wittenberg
road.
Road. Okay. So you guys heard that, there was a,
Can I
like,
stand up?
yes, please, anybody who wants to speak.
So yeah, couple of things.
Okay.
We are 25 feet back, which is what he requested. So
We are, meaning the,
like
the
the design is 25 feet back, which is what Ken
back,
said.
back from.
From
Has
the
to be
road.
from the road, which it is.
Okay,
So that's exactly what he wants. Instead of an 8 feet, he's saying a 7 feet, which I'm happy to concede to.
okay.
And other than that, there was nothing else that he was saying other than his just.
Yeah, why are
Not-
you fencing in so much of that property? It seems like half the property is fenced in and
Because
only
we
the
are
usable
planning
half.
to do a food forest. I believe you were there today?
Yes,
Yeah, so you saw how much clearing we had done?
yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks
So-
great.
So the point of that was to grow trails and paths of fruit trees and berry bushes and literally envelop the land with as many kind of food varieties as we can. And it was something of our dream to move up here, and we invested so much money to really, and we've spent in the last like 3 weeks probably $40,000 on soil.
I was
to
just gonna ask
prepare.
you about soils.
So I'm spending a fortune to really create this beautiful food forest that's organic, and it's actually gonna look beautiful because what even the previous neighbor was saying about the aesthetic, the foliage that grows on Wittenberg would take over that like a trellis.
Take over what? The fence?
The fence.
The exterior of the fence,
Because
for
it's
example?
just, it's sheer, it's like a trellis. So those vines within like a year or two would envelop and totally, you wouldn't even see it.
My understanding was you had intended to fence the entire property.
No,
but
my
you're saying-
property is 9 acres,
Okay.
so I'm
And-
only doing 3.8.
Okay.
It looks
so-
like only the usable part of the property, the rest is forest. The back of
Yes.
the property where the fence is,
Yeah, I
after the
cleared that
fence, it's all
area.
forest.
Yeah, correct.
But
There's,
on
there's
one
paths
side,
back
on
there.
one side of your property, there's 2 homes
Yes,
that border the stone wall
yes,
where the fence is gonna be.
correct.
And, I mean,
Yeah, one of those was the neighbor,
the neighborhood.
yeah, the lower neighbor.
And
But-
on the other side, it's pretty well treed and forest.
Yes, and they actually were fine with it because they're excited. They think it's beautiful what I've done, and they think that I'm doing a beautiful job making it actually look more beautiful and less kind of
Well,
overgrown and
It
wild.
might look beautiful to you inside, when you're all enclosed in and you have these beautiful trees and everything, but how about your neighbors with an 8-foot wall?
Well, I will be putting plantings all along, everywhere, beautiful plantings.
We're concerned about view shed and interrupting the view shed of others in the neighborhood.
You know,
That's the primary concern.
Don't forget, this
The
is the
view
heart of
shed,
it.
like being able to see through?
No, just being able to see over or around.
Oh,
Or
I
the fact
see.
that
From
it
your
would
neighbors.
block
Oh, I
somebody's
see,
view
okay.
of the valley
But
around.
ultimately, even when I drive past those same neighbors, the brush is so high and thick, I can't see more than a foot when I'm driving past
Right,
there. I'm
right.
sure in the gaps I see a roof or something, but it is dense. So
Yeah.
I don't really consider that a fair argument here.
Okay.
Well,
I did drive by today
It's
as well.
very dense down Wittenberg.
I
thick
drove by
forest.
today and I purposefully sat at your neighbor's property in the car and looked through it, and it's very visible. The fence will be very visible,
Besides
from
that,
the
there's
neighbor.
leaves on the trees now.
right?
Well, that's true. So that dynamic will change when the leaves fall. You're allowed to build any fence you want as long as it's in, which is 6 feet high,
Yeah.
and only 4 feet on the
Front.
frontage road. You know, I don't know, does a 7-foot fence deter a deer? Does anybody have any definitive?
I know there's
I-
others in the town that have it because my fencing company, before I invested all this money and time, we looked into it and they said, yes, there are definitely approved things. There should be no reason. We're gonna follow all the guidelines.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna follow all the rules. We're gonna do exactly what he wanted, which was black posts, transparent. It's like everything we did for that reason, to
Mhm.
be, within code and within reason.
Right,
Nothing
Yeah,
outlandish we're
understood.
asking for.
understood.
And,
Well-
you could, sorry, go ahead.
This is the actual center of the Catskill Mountain Park, and the Catskill Mountain Park is supposed to be forever wild. So I think your neighbors and them suggesting different things other than an 8-foot fence is correct, but again, this is the Catskill Mountain Park, and it's supposed to be forever wild, and the animals will be affected. No matter what you say, they're gonna be affected from passing through that area. And did you think of any other ways besides a fence?
No, I've been researching it for a long time. This was the
Yeah.
way.
No electronic, no motion?
No, this was definitely the most effective way, and also to protect all the soil and all the digging and all the rocks we took out to create really good soil for like 6 inches. So this
Did you
was the
have other
way.
suggestions? Is that a deter deer?
Yeah. no,
Coyote urine
There's a,
is one.
yeah, there's a lot of things that
People do
you do
suggest that.
Yeah, and
outside
there-
of a fence.
Yeah, and there is still, the bulk of my property is still wild.
Yeah.
It's not like the bulk of it is fenced, it's the bulk of it is
Well, I mean, if
still
you
wild.
had farm status, that would be, an easy thing.
Yeah.
But you're in a
Mm.
residential neighborhood with an
Yeah.
8-foot fence. I mean, that's kind of a big reach in the front. From 4 foot to 8 foot is 100% more.
Yeah,
Well, especially in the front.
It is, just really quick, I think that the front setback becomes an issue for people, because when they're looking at the application online, your proposed setback on the front is 15 to 40 feet. and that's not 25. The application is saying that at least a portion of the fence along the front is only gonna be 15 feet from the side of the road.
It is.
If that's not the case, then that's something we can note during minutes and make sure it's part of a resolution if it ever got that far, but, and when you get down to the map, sorry, I'm getting there.
Did you see it?
The distance there, it's not stated, they didn't
But
add
where,
it to the map,
okay,
so
so
I don't know.
so, that's where the
Is
fence
where-
is?
You see, there's no
Got a house
measurement from
here
the edge of the fence
and a
to
big
the
house
edge
here.
of the road.
Renovated.
It's not the entire
Yeah, so I'm
property.
wondering if perhaps the setback here is 15, the setback over here is 40.
25 or whatever, yeah.
So perhaps moving that 10 feet back, for some reason, if it's, I don't know.
Yeah,
But I think that's where
it is
the-
possible.
But I think that's where, like, when Mr. Graham was saying the setback on the front is 25, and it's not, I think if he's looking at this information, that's what's informing that thought. for him.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And that's 25 feet back from the center line of the road,
25 feet from the edge of the road.
edge of the road, okay.
This is in the front, and the fence, the other one was on the corner,
There's another map.
which is treated like a front yard too. You know, the bottom here is 6 foot, the bottom is open. You know, it's
So the most
actually
visible part would be along Ridgewood
2
Road.
feet
Yeah,
on the
except
bottom.
that when you're here and driving this
Yeah, I
way,
get your
you can
point.
certainly see all the
Yeah, yeah.
but
On the fence.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, this is a public hearing, we're just, please step up.
Control.
She's my neighbor, she owns across the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
Every-
sign in right here? Sorry.
Yeah, but every situation is different. You know, you gotta look at nowadays, he just wants it because he's gonna make a farm. But if
I
it
don't
was a
know.
farm, then I'd have no problem.
Would you,
But he
allow a
isn't
7-foot
farm.
fence?
No.
No.
Probably didn't go past it. But then probably, it's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars into the farm.
When you're ready, guys.
No, they're talking. so.
Okay, let's listen up. Go ahead, please.
I am Diane Fish. I am Harry's neighbor across the street. I have 36 acres. I have not built on it yet. I do know Harry. Harry is a person of great integrity and aesthetics. He is not going to do anything that, he's going to make it beautiful. I myself have a 7-foot fence because I have dogs and I created, because coyotes jump. Harry does have a dog. Coyotes jump. I have a 3.5 acre fence around my property. I live on Beaver Ridge Road, which is technically in Bearsville, but I'm in Mount Tremper Post Office. So I'm advocating for this fence. I think that from the road, I always think me as a passenger, I don't like to see people's houses, and if he has a setback, I think it's going to be a beautiful screen. And the rest of it is going to be woven through the forest, and my fence, which is just post and wire, the same type as Harry, everything grows up around it, and it's beautiful. So it's not like a hardwood fence, which I think is very
But
suburban.
you live
It's
in
not-
Woodstock, right?
I live in Beaver Ridge Road, which is technically Bearsville, but I have 36 acres in Wittenberg, right across from Harry.
Mhm.
It's just land right now that I have not built on yet.
Has the 7-foot fence in fact deterred deer intrusion in your
It-
property?
It deters deer from, I also have, I have like 28 apple trees, so I built it for there. The bear did trample on the fence this week, so I have to put it back up.
Yeah.
And it takes the coyotes away. But they're out there right around the fence, so they're
They-
not
They the coyotes?
homeless.
They the coyotes?
The coyotes do not jump over the 7-foot fence. They are right at the fence. I've seen them. So they're not eating my dogs.
Yeah, they're there. They're definitely out there.
But the wildlife is still all the way around. Harry has a lot of forest around him. I don't think it's going to be a big deterrent for the animal life, which I know he greatly respects.
Yeah. I was going to mention, it would seem to me that the construction of your fence would not deter a bear.
Yes,
Hopefully you understand
yes,
that.
that's fine. Whenever that may happen, I will have to endure the cost of whatever it will be to repair
Yeah.
bear damage.
I think they're the biggest problem with orchards is bears.
Yeah.
Just, that's an aside, just so you know.
We know.
Okay, you're familiar with bears?
No, they just trampled on my fence. I had to rebuild it, just a section. They just stepped right on it.
They're
But
intrepid.
they took the apples and they went away.
Yep, that's what they do.
And that's what they do.
It's like a bear trap.
Exactly.
Usually they climb and break all the branches down.
Yeah, but Harry is definitely into sustainability, and he is building edible food for his families.
And
that come by,
friends
and
and
his
local
friends,
neighbors.
and, you know, he spent a lot of money on the soil, and I think that a lot of it is the deterrent so the deer don't eat everything. Well, all of
Oh,
it is
yeah.
raccoons, and I just think there's plenty of land for them around the rest of his area. And I have 36 acres they can come to across the way.
That's very generous of you.
So I'm advocating,
And so you're gonna take down your fence?
I'm not taking down my fence. No, I got approval for it many years in the 80s, so I'm very happy to have it, and it's actually beautiful. It's,
Great.
Yes,
My
it's
fence is
beautiful, and this.
You don't see the fence,
It's all, there's stuff growing all
growing
over it.
everywhere, bushes
It's
and
truly invisible.
wild raspberry bushes, they hug the fence line, so you don't see anything but that.
Okay.
It just looks like the brush that we run
It looks,
past on
yeah, it's
Whitford.
not an ugly.
Yes, it will be barren, which you guys already said, but it's a temporary thing.
Yeah,
Like within 2 years, all that green
the
is gonna
bushes
grow.
just come upon the fence, because you're clearing for the field and whatnot, and they just go.
Yeah, things grow in the Catskills.
So it
That's a
really
fact.
will be truly invisible
Mhm.
at one point, you know. And what I'm asking for is the patience of my neighbors to show that it will look exactly like it did before I got the property, which was just brush. It was thicket and brush and dead trees.
How long have you owned it?
I closed early this year,
Oh.
and I've been in construction for the
Oh,
last
moving pretty quickly.
8 months, yeah.
Okay.
And that's my GC, who is a local Phoenician,
Big John.
Big John. Yeah, so, you know, I guess these guys are getting me back because I don't know how to speak really well in front of people, but I've worked really hard on this project. It's a dream project. I did everything the way I was told, from my fencing company to, you know, talking to my neighbors and letting them know that this is actually going to make everything much more beautiful, and having the community be able to come over and walk through what we're planning on doing will be a really beautiful thing for everybody.
Well,
And I
you're-
plan to live like that because that's the kind of person I
I'm
am.
kinda jealous of your house.
Was- Well, if we open up this orchard,
You're
everybody can
jealous?
come
I'm
walk
jealous of
through,
your
walk
house.
through and
It's
look at it.
beautiful. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice,
what's
right?
going on in the back there with that back house? It's gorgeous.
Oh,
I mean, I can't believe it.
Yeah, the main house is
The
what
main
we're
house,
constructing.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
it, the main house.
Yeah, the main house is
Not,
being
not for
constructed.
the quarters for the maids and the butlers and the.
No, that's where we live right now. While we try to like build out all the land and everything. So I appreciate the 2 emails. It looks like I can make one of them totally happy right away by just going to the 7-foot, but I don't have an answer for Anna and Julian other than to trust that it will be beautiful. The bulk of their fence, particularly, is actually covered the most because it comes on a slope. It comes down on a thicket and a slope. And so they don't have a big spread. It's actually the neighbors in front of them
Yeah,
that have wide open.
yeah, because it's up near the road.
So, but their property, if you guys were to come there, you'd be like, you're right, they barely can see this fence at all because of the trees and how it's going to go on an angle downwards, down the slope.
Okay. Any other questions?
No?
No? Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for adhering to the process. We appreciate that. That's one thing that keeps our community vibrant and beautiful and livable. So this is a public hearing. We'll see if we can make a ruling on this when the regular hearing opens. Any other comments, questions? So I make a motion, we close the hearing for the Josh property. May I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could I just add something?
You certainly can.
You're not gonna threaten us, are you, John?
There are a few sections of 8-foot solid wood fence between the properties now.
Can't
Not
have
as much linear foot as Harry's requested, but, and dilapidated, but there are 8-foot 7 feet between the 2 properties,
Between which properties?
between
The one,
Harry's property and
the one in the
We
north?
did get those down. We took those down because they were dilapidated, but there was.
Okay,
There was.
Okay.
Privacy fences that were solid wood from the
Okay.
last neighbor, or the last owner.
okay.
But we
All
should put them.
right, so we'll take this up at the regular 7 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, we can't rule on it now.
Yeah,
We
this
have
is
to
just
do
a
it.
public hearing phase
Okay,
of which we had the input.
okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to close the public hearing. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
all right,
And
thank you
we'll
so
get
much.
started
And you guys
again
will
at
just let me
7
know.
o'clock.
Yep.
You can stick around.
Don't go away.
Yeah,
We're,
yeah,
Oh,
you
you
can,
can stick
We're gonna
around?
reopen.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get a ruling on
Okay.
Massachusetts out with this.
Okay, very good.
And then there was a public,
There's a third, but we
No, we have one more. We have one
Errol
more.
Mueller,
We have the
that's
garage.
the public hearing.
Yes.
So we should open that now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I make a motion. That was supposed, is that on? Yeah. Test. It's on. Okay, I make a motion, we open a hearing for the Errol Mueller variance application. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, sir.
First, I gotta read the legal.
Oh, sorry, we need to hear the legal. Please read it.
Notice is hereby given that the Town of Shandaken Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 267-A of the state law and as prescribed in the district schedule of area and bulk regulations of the Shandaken Town Code for the purpose of hearing the following applicant. Regarding an application for area variance submitted by Errol Mueller for a parcel located at 42 Fitchner Road in Chichester, further identified as SBL number 14.5-1-22, said parcel being located in a residential 1.5-acre zoning district. The applicant is seeking an area variance and relief of the height restrictions for an accessory structure in order to construct a garage 19 feet in height. The public hearing is scheduled for September 18th, 2024 at 6:45 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Thank you.
She's done.
And we received one email regarding this application. Okay. To the board, good evening, Shandaken Town Zoning Board of Appeals. I am sending this email in favor of my good neighbor Errol Mueller's request for a variance to town usage rules regarding his property located at 42 Fitchner Road. Mr. Mueller's property has evolved into an asset for this area. What was once an eyesore teetering on the verge of permanent disrepair has been transformed into a curb appealing setting. The main home and its surrounding landscape is very nice now since his purchasing it a decade ago. The existing structure should be allowed to be reconstructed according to Mr. Mueller's plan that includes the changes requested pending board approval. Thank you all in advance for considering my support for this project. Dennis G. Engeldrum.
And there's two other letters in the file.
Those are all the letters total that were sent in for each one.
The paperwork, so,
Is the new proposed structure, does it match the existing footprint?
It is not the existing footprint, it is on the same area.
The same area, different footprint. And, you know, I noticed from the drawing, you don't have a distance between the house
Yeah,
and
that was amended and it should be in the file.
Okay,
From the last hearing, we had, it was going to be 14 feet.
Okay.
And it was going to be aligned
You're-
with the house.
right. And you're gonna maintain that 14 feet? You're not gonna move it any closer, it's gonna stay?
No, I mean, I can promise it won't be any closer. I want it to be as far away from the house as I
Right.
can, but I'm prevented from doing so
The
because
pole.
of the hill.
And there's also that power pole there, I
That,
think, right?
that could either be, that's not my way, it's
You-
really
The
the
hill.
matter of
The
the
hill.
hill, and there's a old stone retaining wall there
Yeah.
that I don't want to disturb if
Yeah.
I can. So that's really what's preventing me from moving, I mean, if I could, I would have it,
Sure,
you know,
yeah,
200 feet away from the house.
yeah.
the issue is access for emergency EMS vehicles, and those two issues are primarily fire suppression and health emergency issues. So we want to make sure there's enough room for whatever fire truck, for example, to get back to where they need to on your property if something should happen. I think 14 feet covers that.
Yeah, I think so, right?
But, so you're actually asking for a height variance? That's the only thing you're asking for,
That's all.
right?
It's supposed to be, I'm only allowed a 1.5-story building, and I want a 2-story building, basically.
Mhm.
So it's 15 to 19 feet is the difference. And which is the height of the existing building.
Right. 15 feet is allowed? That was 16, it was 15.
15.
Okay. All right, so he's asking for a 4-foot height variance.
That's it.
Has nothing to do with the
I
footprint.
would note also that when when Mr. Mueller submitted the application, it came with 2 letters of support from other neighbors.
Right, of
Yeah,
which I
that's
think we
what I
have
was
here.
referring to.
Yeah, we have that here. Okay, yeah, plus is at the very end of Finchner, well, not quite the very end, almost the very end of Finchner Road.
I think you could say it's at the very.
The
It
very end.
splits off, there's 2 right there, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. There is another dwelling above, but I mean, it's
That's,
way
he owns
beyond.
that, that's his shed.
Oh,
No,
well, there's
there's a
the
neighbor.
Ampel
Well,
residence.
they're kind of across the way, and they actually have they don't actually have that direct access to Fitchner Road through their property, so they actually go for the riders.
All right. Any other questions?
No?
No? Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, when we resume the actual meeting at 7 o'clock in a few minutes, we'll.
Do I need to be present for that, or?
Well, not really. I think we
You
can.
don't have to be, but
I think
I
we,
would like to be, but.
no, you can.
Yeah,
Have a seat. This is.
we'll likely
these-
rule on it now, so.
These meetings are open to the public and.
Yeah,
we're
I
opposed,
know.
yeah. But,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, but no, I think we can make a ruling on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we close the public hearing,
And then start the other hearing, and then take a bathroom break, and take a break, and then. All right, so I make a motion, we close the public hearing on the Errol Mueller application. May I have a second?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, take a bathroom break, and we'll get started on the regular meeting in a few minutes. Right. I could go for that. Are you done with that? 7 feet?
Yes.
4 feet? Okay. Okay, make a motion, we open it.
I don't know. There you go.
Open the public meeting, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Thank you.
It's got justice for all.
Let's hope. Who are we taking first? Did you guys ever?
This one here, Jen?
The Wellington,
Wellington's been disposed of.
yeah. And
Arrow,
fence.
okay, so. Any more questions or comments on the arrow? So he's asking for a 4-foot height variance in the same basic footprint as what exists. We've established there's enough room between the new structure and the old house for access to emergency vehicles. Any other issues we've missed?
No,
I don't think so.
no, I've looked at it, his only issue is at the hill, and he's already got the garage there that's halfway down anyway.
Right,
He's gonna demolish it, and he's gonna rebuild using probably most of the same, foundation there, slab,
same
if
footprint.
it has one.
It'll be a new slab, but
Are we ready for a motion on that? I make a motion, we grant the Errol Mueller variance of 4-foot height on the accessory structure. Anything else?
Second?
Okay, second. All in favor?
Roll call, roll call.
Roll call.
Mark Lodi,
Aye, is that correct? Yes.
Gary Guglielmetti,
Yes.
Alan Bella, Christian Lynch,
Yes.
Henry Williams.
Yes.
So moved. Congratulations, good luck.
Can I say something else before you guys make your decision?
Pardon?
Can I say something else?
Sure.
Concerning the Errol Mueller?
No,
No,
no.
Oh.
nothing but you. Congratulations.
Okay.
No.
Say something.
Yes, so done with the Errol
I
Mueller.
just assumed that
Good
was
luck.
the next thing we would be talking about.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, can I come up there?
Sure.
Yeah, let me, do we need a motion to open the hearing for the,
No, this is
No.
just a meeting.
okay, come.
Thank you. So one thing I did want to say, just as a last thing, before you guys make your decision, is, do you know what arborvitae is? These
Yes.
long, so they're really giant trees, and I'm allowed to plant those anywhere I want
Mhm.
Sure.
without having to come. So theoretically, the argument that the front of Wittenberg will look bad with my 8-foot fence would be demolished if I just did a line of those, and no one could really see, because they would just see, beautiful trees all in a row
Yeah.
Mhm.
blocking that.
Arborvitae's.
Right,
So denying me that 8-foot, knowing that I could be doing a design like that in front of that, I just wanted you guys to consider that is, if that is something to consider the front, that this is what would happen, because that is what I'm planning on doing. It's a
Okay.
very manicured property. I think you were the only person who went there, but you already see
Wow.
how clean
It's
and
gorgeous.
We've all-
I
we've
plan
all-
on making it even more beautiful, so what I'm saying is the front, if that's, when you hear the 7 feet, 8 feet, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be ugly, I assure you it will not. By the time it is all done and grown and mature, it will be much more beautiful than most of the stuff you're gonna be seeing around. So,
Property's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a hostile takeover.
And so you know, we've all been there. Today I was there as well.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we've all seen the actual
Yeah, the project
project
itself.
and property.
Driven by a number of times.
Okay, all
So-
right.
And by the way, just, arborvitae is a prime deer food.
Okay, well, that's good.
They
Well,
will-
they'll be in front of the fence, it's okay.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say that on behalf of any kind of thing that may weigh on the aesthetic of the front. And they had, the only portion, just to put this all in perspective, the neighbor on the right has no problem with it. The neighbor in the front, who should be the only one who may have a problem with it because it's completely transparent for her, doesn't have a problem with it. The couple in the back who doesn't like this idea is the one that will be least impacted. So
Okay.
really, this decision is really hinging on there. As it was for Kenneth, we don't actually, none of my properties touch other than him just being able to drive by. So his argument would be the front view,
Right,
because the back doesn't affect him
okay.
at all. So I just wanted to lay all that out so it's very clear,
Mm-hmm,
all right, that's,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, yeah. Any commentary? So there's this issue of view shed. The applicant is willing to taper down from 8 feet to 7 feet, correct?
I would, yep.
There's an issue about the fact that it doesn't encompass the whole property. Apparently there is at least one neighbor's issue about view shed, but the other neighbors are copacetic and
Well,
supportive.
it does encompass the whole property in the front. It's rectangular shaped property, so the whole first half of it,
Would
the
be-
width of it going down is where the houses are.
Right,
It's all gonna be fenced in.
okay.
And the
What-
distance to the road,
And the
15 to
The cer-
40 feet, as opposed to 25 to 40 feet,
Right,
which
And-
you can add as a condition if you so desire to do.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
But the pl-
I saw the trees were marked. I presume the ribbons around the trees are gonna be
They're
in the
using
proximity of where the
They're
fence is
using
gonna
those
be.
as posts, yeah.
So that's right in back of that little drainage ditch there, a
Correct.
stream in front.
Correct.
the drainage dishes on your property, or is that,
Yeah,
okay,
and it's behind that. It's behind the drainage ditch.
Yeah.
right, okay. All right, well, the general consensus in the conversation here was that we allow a 7-foot fence on the side and rear parameter, but hold you to a 4-foot fence in the front. Is that the general consensus of the board?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
You don't
No
think you're?
variance on the front. Is that what I'm hearing? Sorry, I just
What-
wanted clarity.
That's what
No
I'm, looking-
variance.
That was our discussion,
that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
yeah.
So if we made a motion to allow 7 foot on the sides and the back, but maintain a 4-foot height on the front, and we're comfortable with the setback from the front of the fence to the road,
25.
that's the plan, 25 feet, correct? As,
It's, yeah, it's,
Yes,
The drawing shows
whatever the
16.
law is what we did it to.
yeah.
So whatever the
That's
town
25 feet.
law is, that's what the fencing company built that based on.
That's not what the drawing says, the drawing says what,
The drawing's not clear. If you look at the application,
That's
the
what the code
application
is.
states
You
that
wouldn't even see a
the
4-foot fence.
proposed
No.
setback is 15 to 40 feet. The requirement is 25 feet. So
So
that's
then
what
we
we
would do
do.
it to 25 feet for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, and so then,
so we'd need to make,
1540, because the fence is angled.
right, so,
front.
but I'm
Well-
just saying that then the condition of this approval would be that the fence were at any point along the front, at least 25
Yes.
feet away
5
from
feet.
the end of the road.
That sounds
Yes.
reasonable to me.
yes.
Are we ready for a motion on this? So I make a motion that we grant a variance to allow the applicant a 7-foot fence on the sides and rear of the property, but maintain a 4-foot elevation on the front of the property, on the condition that the front fence is set back 25 feet from the edge of the road, not the center line, the edge of the road. Anything else?
No?
May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
We have to.
Roll call.
Oh, sorry, roll call?
Mark Bodie,
Yes.
Gary Goodwin,
Yes.
Alan Bella, Christian Lynch.
Yes,
Henry Williams.
Yes.
So moved.
So I have a
Okay.
question. Am I allowed to appeal something like this?
No, we are the Board of Appeals.
Yes, you can. You can file an Article 78 and appeal it to the New York State,
To the county?
Absolutely.
no, the state,
State.
state of New
Okay.
York.
The state of New York,
You could file what do you call it, Article 78.
Article
It goes to the Supreme Court, state of New York.
7. Okay. Okay.
The issue about the front, you may want to build a 4-foot front fence as well as the arborvitae, or as well as additional.
Well, that
Yeah,
just,
what's the,
then all the deer are just
what's
gonna
the
come in
point?
through the front. It
No, no, no.
defeats my whole,
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the fence is gonna be at least 25 feet from the side of the road, the code says you can build it 6 feet high.
Oh, good point.
can I get a variant to 7 feet then?
That's for them to say. But I can let you build a 6-foot high fence if it's
Oh,
25 feet.
I'm asking for a 1-foot variance
so
here.
at 25 feet, the code says he's,
Yeah, that 4-foot requirement on the front is only if you're closer
Well,
than 25 feet to the edge of the road.
Any frontage road on a county, state, or a town road is limited to
And
4
we
feet.
didn't hear back
That's the
from the county.
statute we're looking at.
But
Um,
what she's saying is saying, that sounds great and doable, if that, could I be granted that?
I
Listen.
can let him build 6 feet. If he wants to do 7 on the front, you guys have to approve a 1-foot variance on the front.
My main concern is view shed for people driving by. It's,
I say give him a foot, 37 all around, and that's it, get done with it.
yeah. Let's see, the 7-foot fence all the way around.
At this point, it's only a
25
foot.
feet, 25 feet is like from here to the back wall,
The land slopes down
and it slopes down.
Yeah, it slopes, it goes, it's got the drainage ditch, and on the other side of the drainage ditch, it slopes down. So actually, 7 feet would look like 6 feet anyway,
Yeah.
from the road.
What, do you know right offhand what the percentage of gradient is?
6, 7.
It's pretty steep.
No,
I mean,
you
4
can't,
4 to
listen,
7, you even know.
I say driving by,
6,
you're not
7,
gonna
you're not
tell
gonna-
whether it's 6 or 7, or,
Yeah,
Yeah,
considering
um,
the gradient.
Just put a
There's
sign
at
up.
least a 3-foot drop from
yeah.
Wittenberg to the ditch.
Okay, we can consider that.
Just put a sign, a plaque on the front of the
We
fence that
we-
says
we can
6
do-
feet, that's all.
Scratch that
Make
other
it
motion.
simple.
Scratch-
Nobody's gonna go out there and measure.
Scratch the other motion and,
Okay, conditional,
just.
conditional variance that it has to be
7 all around.
25 feet from the edge of
25
the road.
feet, 7 feet all around.
Okay, so a new motion, we allow the applicant a 7-foot fence on the entire perimeter, on the condition, it's a conditional application that the frontmost part of the fence is 25 feet from the edge of the road. Does that fit with your agenda?
Is it not the middle of the road?
The edge.
It's the edge?
The edge,
Okay.
The concern being that county's able to maintain that ditch and there's snow and if they need to turn around, it's the edge.
Okay.
there are certain regs where we need to consider the center of the road, apparently this is the edge of the road, so that gives you another like 12 feet of,
It looks like that's about what you have anyway. It's very close to, I would say, 25 feet from the edge of the road.
I haven't.
Maybe
measured it out.
15?
I'll have to let the fence people just mark it out to make sure that this is correct. Yeah.
okay, so you got the variant, do you want to read that back to us?
What?
The motion?
We have to do
it.
it.
1-foot height variance for the fence around the perimeter of the property.
Yes.
With the condition that the front line of that fence be at least 25 feet from the edge of the road.
May I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
No,
No.
roll call.
Roll call?
Mark Lodi,
Yes.
Gary Guglielmetti.
Yes.
Alan Bella, Christian Lynch.
Yes.
Henry Williams.
Yes.
So moved.
I hope that meets your requirements or your needs.
All right, I appreciate that very much for
Yeah.
your time and patience, guys.
Well, thank you for everything you're putting into and following the procedures, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. I promise you guys will not be thinking it's an eyesore in like a year.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that.
Thank you again.
Thank you, folks.
John, be well.
I have one thing before you guys close.
Okay.
So I've been talking a lot this week with Patterns for Progress.
Yep.
They're looking to put together a town hall meeting, for the public to attend. I think we've set October 24th as the date. What Patterns wants to do is meet with you guys. Just sit down together to discuss questions, concerns, what are your issues, what do you feel is important, that kind of things, and I'm sure that they have a lot of questions for you as well. It might be a bit of a lengthy meeting, an hour or two. So the options here for you guys, if you were available during the day on that 24th, like in the afternoon to meet here with them, or we can set up a meeting over Zoom, which is probably the easiest.
It has to be on the 24th?
No.
No?
If you want to do a Zoom meeting, I think that they're most open to like Thursdays and Wednesdays, but they're pretty, they'll work with you. But what they really want is all of you in one place together.
Okay.
They can't have us all.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if they can handle
Yeah,
you
really.
all, but if they think that they can.
Manhandle us all? Okay.
Thursdays are not good for me. I can't,
No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
If you'd like, what I can do, if you feel like maybe a Zoom meeting is probably going to be the easiest, what I'm happy to do is start an email chain that includes all of you guys and Elka and Kate for the two women from Patterns that we're working with, and maybe you can work out or sort of iron out a date.
And this is just for, meeting for our board, or?
Just for your board. They'll meet with the planning board separately, but just for you guys to have that time to discuss.
So this is it's a private entity that's been hired to facilitate the comprehensive town plan. They do a lot of like urban renewal issues and housing issues all over the Northeast and Hudson Valley, actually. So they have a long track record. Apparently they've been in business since 1968 or,
Apparently,
yeah.
they're amazing. I've been loving working with them.
So
far.
they're consultants, and they as they pointed out they will take the lead initiative in completing the comprehensive town plan. We've already had a year's worth of meetings with the local comprehensive town plan committee about revising, rehashing, rewriting the original town plan, which was 12 years ago. This stuff's supposed to be done every 5 years.
Yeah.
So we are quite a ways along the road of rewriting so they're initiating the process. So we've had we had a Zoom meeting the other night, and they're doing a pretty good job of herding the cats, and that's where it's at. So apparently they want to pick your brain on.
Did we ever come up with, if everybody feels comfortable meeting on Zoom? Because they are a couple hours away, it's not like
They're in Newburgh.
So,
Yeah. I mean, face-to-face meetings are always best. We always get more done. That Zoom meeting the other day was a case in point. There was some
I
animosity.
missed that, I feel bad I missed that, but my daughter's field hockey game, ran late. I got home.
Okay. I thought your daughter was injured. Is she recovered?
Oh, she plays through the pain, you know? She,
Leave it
And we're
to,
at the doctor twice a week. It's
leave,
great.
they can leave that to the younger generation. Yeah, I'm not paying through the plane.
No.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. I mean, if can you do Zoom?
I'd rather
I've
do it in
never done
person.
it, but, I mean,
I'd rather do it in person, right?
how do you get it going on your computer? Is it, you gotta like download it or something?
They send a link. You click on the link.
Yeah, I can
and the
figure it
thing
out.
comes
If I
up.
get, yeah, I'll
You
figure
can do
it
it
out.
on your phone. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can easily do it on your phone.
And if you have a camera or a phone that has a desktop
They actually
computer that
use
has a camera,
Microsoft Teams, if that makes any difference.
you can actually have your picture on there.
Which I think is actually a little more user-friendly.
Which one?
Teams.
They use Team? But it's all the same. There are 3 or 4 of these Zoom-like apps. They send you a link, you click on it, and it opens up the screen, and
It's like Facebook.
No.
When you do a
Well, it's more
call.
like FaceTime,
Yeah, FaceTime.
but with lots of people.
Okay, yeah.
yeah, you have any number of people on the meeting that you want, and it shows a picture, and you can talk, you can mute yourself, you can mute your video, or you can have your picture on the screen, so, it's,
It's pretty tricky.
yeah, it's
So it's
just,
how you guys want to have that meeting with them that matters, and then I can start trying to find a good date and time if you do want to do it in person.
I think it's the best way.
I totally agree. I mean, we've been doing Zoom for years now, for Charter Limited and every other damn thing.
So maybe I can get a list of dates from them that don't include Thursday.
Can we do it after our weekly, our monthly meeting?
No, it's too late. I
Too
think
late,
It's too
huh?
late for them. I think that, one of them has a daughter that's pending.
Got it.
Yeah.
We're
do
seven,
it
we're sitting here
before,
at
too.
7, they wouldn't get home till 1.
Okay.
Or if we wanted to meet before,
Yeah.
I'd be up for that. I'm flexible.
That's a thought.
Since
Why
we're all
don't
gonna
I
be
ask
here.
them if they wouldn't be available at like 5?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
5,
don't I
yeah.
ask them that? Maybe they would be able to do that.
Or I don't know how much time they need. I don't think there's any more public hearings for the next meeting. We just,
You don't have anything for the next week unless Wellington
oh,
does their.
that's the other thing. Yeah.
Not yet, but you never
Not yet.
know.
6
Yeah.
o'clock, then I'll ask them if maybe they're available.
Well, hopefully we'll be ruling on Wellington.
That would be good.
And that'll be short and sweet, so.
Actually, the land use lawyer that they've hired is very good. We've worked with him before, so.
What's his
hopefully
name again?
that-
Michael?
Mike Moriello.
Mike Moriello.
We worked with him before the planning board on the project, so.
Yeah, that's gonna cost them more money, but this is probably a better
It's,
way to go forward.
Standard.
it's so much more complicated, I think, than they realize, so it's good. It's very good.
Well, we can facilitate the process, so.
But I will ask Patterns if they might be available at 6 o'clock next week. Before the meeting.
An hour should be enough time
I would
to
Yeah,
think
so
pick
the
up
meeting
brain.
starts at 7, so why don't I call it 6?
They're looking
works
for
for me.
the
That
relevant,
might even be a little late for them, but I'll ask.
they're looking for the issues most relevant to us in the development of the town, our vision for the future of the town, anything we want to add or detract from the current proposal for the comprehensive town plan, if you feel like reading through that. But yeah, they're doing a good job. So, all right, so see if we can set that up.
They're smart, they've been doing this for a long time. I like them a lot. I think that they'll
Yeah.
do really, really well by us.
Yeah, I think it's a good hire.
We have to do the minutes.
I'm not, who's right?
Was there any, has there, anybody read the minutes? Everybody read the minutes? Is there any amendments to the minutes as presented. So may I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
Olivia wrote those minutes based solely on the video, poor thing, so.
Fabulous.
Good work, thanks. Can you hear everything on the video? We getting,
Yes, I do watch with the captions on,
Yeah.
which
Oh. okay.
is helpful.
I really can't, like, I look at the videos all the time, and individuals sitting down, you could never really hear them sitting over on the side, like on town meetings. I don't know what anybody says. And sometimes even with the mic there, for some reason that mic doesn't pick up very well.
I
You
mean,
know-
I feel like on top of it.
Yeah, you notice when she
When she
put
went
it
straight
close to
on,
her,
yeah.
then the mic really sounded, so.
We could probably do, I don't know what that would mean, more unidirectional mics or whatever, we could, but we
We
could do.
spend so much time and money on these mics. I think we've got them about as good as they're ever gonna get. So we just have to ask people if they might please project.
Well, either they should come up and speak to the mic or at the mic, or that mic is a handheld mic. Have somebody bring it to them and hand it to them.
That makes sense.
That's
yeah.
really what should
We have a
happen.
mic runner. My kid needs
A
community
mic runner,
service
she needs
hours.
a
There you
job.
My kid needs community
There-
service.
there you go.
hours. She could be a mic runner, not for like jail or anything, for honor society, I swear.
It's true.
Don't let her show up in an orange suit, okay?
It's for honor society. Maybe she should be wearing
Oh,
a
yeah.
white robe.
Yeah. Any old business, any new business? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Well, I have one thing on the old business. The project on 214, whatever happened with that, the sauna and the 2 A-frames?
I told him to hold off
Oh.
until I got final word from Don on exactly what he needed.
Yeah, I
And
think you
haven't
said
heard
that the
from
last
any
time.
of them in like 6 weeks. Not him, not Don, no one
Okay.
tells me anything.
All right. I was just curious, that's all.
No, I'm curious. If you hear anything,
Yeah,
let me
he
know.
hasn't stopped by, yeah, from the department.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so I think we're at a second to adjourn the meeting, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Second, aye.
Thank you.